Welcome students in the organic chemistry lecture series. In this video we are going to study about the IUPAC nomenclature of aldehydes and ketones. First of all, in both aldehydes and ketones we know that there is a presence of carbonyl group, that is C double bond O group. So while naming the aldehydes and ketones we have to select the longest carbon chain containing the functional group. If aldehyde is there, then CHO will be the functional group, and if ketone is there, then C double bond O will be the functional group. So we have to select the longest carbon chain which is having the carbonyl group, we can say. So after the selecting the longest carbon chain, we have to give the numbering. So numbering is given from that end which is nearer to the functional group, maybe aldehyde or ketone. Now in case of aldehyde, this is a very important rule. Remember, in case of aldehydes, E of parent alkane is replaced by Al, right? So alkane will become alkanol, and in case of ketones, E of parent alkane is replaced by ONE, that means it will become alkanone. If more than one substituents are present, then they are to be arranged as per alphabetical order, and rules regarding substituents is to be followed. Now, if same number of substituents are present multiple times, then we have to use the prefixes like di, tri, tetra, etc. So these are the basic rules of IUPAC nomenclature of aldehydes and ketones. Now, in summary, see that if compound is aldehyde, then we have to replace the E of parent alkane by Al, so that the name of aldehyde will become alkanol. The aldehyde functional group is given number 1 while numbering the longest carbon chain. And for the common name of aldehydes, start with common parent chain name, that is aldehyde. Okay. When the CHO functional group is attached to ring, then we just have to use the word carbaldehyde. Okay. And the carbon attached to the ring will be considered as a number 1 carbon. Now we'll see some examples so that you will understand the nomenclature of aldehydes. Now see this. Okay, so this is only one carbon in this compound, so it will be methane, and E of that methane will be replaced by Al, so it will become methanol, right? And this formaldehyde is the common name. Now if see this compound here, there are two carbons, 1 and 2, so the parent alkane is ethane, and E of ethane is replaced by Al, so it will become ethanol. Now see this compound here. So if we give number 1 to this carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 5 carbon means it is a pentane, and E of pentane is replaced by pentanol. This valeraldehyde is the common name. This is not a IUPAC name. So these are the three examples so that you will understand what is IUPAC nomenclature of aldehydes. Now we'll see some few more examples. See this. Okay, so we'll start numbering from this carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 5 carbons are there, so it will become a pentane, and E of pentane is replaced by Al, so it is a pentanol, but at 2 position there is a chloro group, so the name of this compound is 2-chloropentanol. Now similarly, see this compound, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means 4 carbons are there, so parent alkane is butane, and the E of butane is replaced by Al, so it becomes a butanol. Butyraldehyde is the common name, it is not a IUPAC name. Now see this compound, if we start numbering from this carbon, it will become 1, 2, 3 and 4. That means 4 carbons are there, so it is butane, and the E of butane will be replaced by Al, so it will become butanol, and at 3 position there is a methyl group, so the name will be 3-methyl butanol. This isovaleraldehyde is the common name. Okay, again, now see this, what we have seen in the rules, if there is a function group on the ring, then we have to use the word carbaldehyde. So If this group was not there, then it is the cyclohexane. So the E of cyclohexane will be replaced by carbaldehyde. So the name will be cyclohexane carbaldehyde. Okay. So without replacing E, we have to write the word carbaldehyde here. Cyclohexane carbaldehyde. We'll see another example. Now there is one substituent on the ring. Okay. So if we start numbering from this carbon, it will be 1, 2, 3. So at 3 position there is a methyl group. So it is 3 methyl cyclohexane carbaldehyde. This is the complete name. Now after observing the IUPAC nomenclature of aldehydes, we will see some rules regarding the IUPAC nomenclature of ketones. Now ketones have their name in the parent name of ketone. The ending E of parent alkene is replaced by ONE. So in IUPAC system, ketones will become alkanone. Okay, and we don't need common name, so we will not focus on common name. So though some common ketones are known by their generic names, so we have to remember the name of some common ketones. Now we'll see some examples so that you will understand the IUPAC name of ketones. Say this. So this is a ketone which is having 3 carbon atoms. At 2 position there is a carbonyl group. So if 3 carbons, that means the parent alkane is a propane, because E of propane is replaced by ONE and it will become a propanone. In common name system it is called as acetone. Okay, so I think it is a very simple. We'll see some more example. Say this is a acetophenone, or we called it as a methyl phenyl ketone. Now this is the example which you have to remember, acetophenone, because in IUPAC system, though IUPAC system is there, the name is acetophenone, which we have to remember. Similarly, we have to remember benzophenone or diphenyl ketone. So remember these structures. It is a benzophenone or diphenyl ketone. This is acetophenone or methyl phenyl ketone, and this is a propanone, or popularly it is known as acetone. So these are such examples where common names are more famous than IUPAC names, or we can say that IUPAC name seems to be like a common name. So we have to remember these structures. Okay, so we'll move further. Okay, now see this now. Okay, so first of all select the longest carbon chain. So this carbon will get first number. So first, two, third, fourth and fifth, that means pentane will be the parent alkane, and E of pentane will be replaced by ONE, so it will become pentanone. But this carbonyl group is at second position, so the name is 2-pentanone. Okay, so I think it is very easy. So we'll move further. Similarly, if we give first number to this carbon, second, third and fourth, so the name will be 3-methyl 2-butanone, because at 2 position ONE group is there. We'll see another example. Okay, so select the longest carbon chain. We'll select from this end because this end is nearer to this functional group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, that means hexane. So E of hexane will be replaced by ONE, so it will become hexanone. But at 3 position there is a carbonyl group, so it is 3-hexanone. Okay, now here we have to remember one thing, and that is there are some common names that are still used to be memorized. We have to remember these names because these are very familiar. For example, I have already explained you this structure. This is CS3COCS3. Its systematic name is a propanone, right? And common name is acetone or dimethyl ketone. Okay, so this we have to remember, it is very famous. Similarly, the systematic name, that is IUPAC name of this compound is 1-phenyl ethane, and E will be replaced by ONE, so it will be 1-phenyl ethanone. 1-phenyl ethanone, because if we give number 1 to this carbon, then it will become 1 and this will become 2. So parent alkane is ethane. So E of ethane is replaced by ethanone, and at one position, which group is this group is called as 1-phenyl group. So the name is 1-phenyl ethanone. This is the IUPAC name of this compound, but popularly the name is acetophenone, which you have to remember. Similarly, the name of this compound is benzophenone, that we have to remember, and in common name system it is a diphenyl ketone. So better you understand or remember these 3 4 structures which are commonly known, very much popular in common name system. So you have to understand these structures. Now we'll move further. Now, sometimes what happens in the molecule, both aldehyde as well as ketone function groups are there. So, at that time, what we have to do? So, as with many molecules, there will be two or more functional groups. So, one is given first priority while naming. Now, if aldehydes and ketones are there, then always remember that aldehyde functional group is having higher priority than ketone functional group. So if aldehyde and ketone both functional groups are there in the compound, then you have to consider that compound as a aldehyde and not a ketone, and consider ketone as a substituent, and it is named as a oxo for ketone substituents. So it is necessary to give aldehyde functional group a location number. However, it is necessary to give a location number to ketone also. Okay, so we'll see some examples so that you will understand. Okay, see this. Now here this aldehyde functional group is also there and ketone functional group is also there. So what I have explained already, if both aldehyde and ketone functional groups are there, then we have to give the first priority to aldehyde. So this carbon will get first number, this will be second number, this will get third number, this will get fourth number, this will get fifth number. So fifth number means propane. Propane, E of propane will be replaced by AN because we consider this compound as a aldehyde, because aldehyde has the highest priority, so it is a uh, it is a pentanol. Okay, because a parent alkene is a pentane, so E of pentane will be replaced by Al, that is a pentanol. But at 4 position carbonyl group is there, so it is called as 4-oxopentanol. I think you have understood this. Now we'll move further. Now see this. Here we have to give first number, second number, third number, fourth number, fifth number. Again, parent alkene is pentane, so it will become pentanol. But at 3 and 4 position, oxo is there, so 3,4 dioxopentanol will be its name. Similarly, this will get first number, second number, third number, fourth number. So this 2 methyl 3 oxo butanol will be the name. So I think you all understand this example. These are very simple. So always remember, if both aldehyde and ketone groups are there, give priority to aldehydes and consider ketone group as a substituents. Okay, now move further. Naming a dialdehydes and diketone. Sometimes two aldehyde groups or two ketone groups are there in the compound. Say for example this. Now what to do in this case? Just find out the parent alkane. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So it is pentane. So pentane E will be replaced by pentanol, or we have to write di before Al because here two aldehyde groups are there. So it is a pentane diol. Similarly, the name of this compound will be 1, 2, 3, 4. It is butanediol. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be 2, comma 4 pentane dione. Okay, I think you are understanding this. Similarly, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2, comma 3 hexane dione will be the name. So for diketones, both carbonyl required a location number. The ending dione or dial is added to the end of the parent chain. So you have to remember this. We have to give the number to the substituents of ketone. Okay. So naming cyclic ketones and dienones. So cyclic ketones, you just have to replace E by ONE, cyclopentanone. This will be 1, comma 4 cyclohexane dione, and this will be 1, comma 2 cyclopentane dione. So just write the word dione after the name of cyclic parent alkane. So this is a uh, nomenclature of ketones and aldehydes as per IUPAC system. So for today we'll stop here, and in next video we'll see the another class of organic compounds, that is carboxylic acid. So up till now, thank you, have a nice day and take care of yourself.